Anytime there is a political scandal, folks tend to become upset when they hear that the politician signed some deal with some corporation, and this corporation used a lot of toxic chemicals in their products, or they hear that some businessman raped over 40 children. He is a serial child molester, and he got away with it for almost 20 years. When folks hear such things, they get upset, they get enraged. Now, at the surface, you may think they are enraged because of the tragedy that happened. But is that really so? In this video, I want to remind you why most of our leaders are narcissists. It's very simple. I don't have to spend much time explaining this. Narcissists rule over us because we don't want to face our own narcissistic attitudes. People in general, unfortunately also believers, want to be left alone. They want to will whatever they will without being held accountable, without anyone hindering them. They just want to will at ease. But this does not work out well in reality. You need to collide with one another, you need to cooperate with one another, and some wills need to be declined. But worldly people don't want this. The reason I said us in the beginning of this video, because those pagan rulers, they also have an impact on the daily lives of believers, because they rule the world and believers are in the world. That's why I said us. Not because I'm a worldly individual, not because I assume you are a worldly individual, but to clarify why I said us. It comes down to this. People in general, I say common people, they don't want to be challenged. So when they have expectations that don't add up, they don't want to see it. What they do is they externalize the pain on someone else. And once they externalize the pain, after they're triggered, they want to take that pain out on the individual they've associated the pain with. That's what common people often do. In groups, it works like this. People form groups, and as a group they project collectively their pain onto certain targets. But now, for them as a group to go after the targets, that would put their lives in danger. So they will hire someone else to do it for them. Now, the one that's hired needs to be dependent on the one that's hiring the individual. The one that's being hired must be able to do the job without any remorse, because if the hitman feels any remorse, he may betray the ones that hired him. The one doing the dirty job must be dirty himself, so that the group that hires the hitman can get rid of the hitman anytime they want. So, you will not hire an honest father or an honest businessman to do the dirty job. No, you're going to hire a scumbag. You're going to hire someone who has lost it between the ears. So, this is how it goes collectively. Society selects people that are filthy to do the dirty job. The job description is dirty in itself, even though they hide the dirtiness of the job with titles, with honors, and with a high salary. It comes down to the following. The population wants relief, and they want people that are filthy to arrange this relief for them. So that when the officials do the dirty work, they can always be shocked and be relieved that they're not the ones doing it, even though secretly they wanted something to be done, so they are relieved. So they don't want to face their own narcissism collectively. I'm not saying they're all narcissists, but their collective narcissism, they don't want to face it. So they want people who are narcissists themselves to do the dirty job so they can project their narcissistic tendencies all on that narcissist. They don't want someone that's honest and real to tell them the truth and hold them accountable. No, they want someone to relieve them. That's why most leaders in the world are narcissists. Rarely will you find someone that's really honest and wants the best for the population. Because here's the thing, even if you find someone who wants the best for the population, often it's the population itself that will resist because they don't want to change. So someone that's really honest will get fed up quickly with the world's population. The only one that's willing to put up with the whining and rage of common people are narcissists. Because narcissist knows how to trigger that rage in their favor. And the narcissist knows if you trigger that rage the right way, those common people will empty their pockets for you. They'll crown you king, they crown you God, just because you can relieve them. But a narcissist also knows that sooner or later they'll turn on him. So that's why you have gangs of narcissists who worship the beast, who are pagans, and they end up being the leaders in the world. Because real honest people really want the best for the population, they won't hang out long being a world leader. Because their own people for whom they're fighting will fight against them and even betray them. But the reason why those narcissists often get away with it, the reason why they get away with it is as follows. If the population would rise up against one of those narcissistic leaders, that narcissistic leader can easily point out a lot about them. And the common people don't want to face this. They don't want this to become public. They don't want to put the dirty laundry outside, as they say in Dutch. So they remain quiet. But they will look for someone else to dump the negativity upon. Often it's those that speak the truth. They don't want to participate in the matrix. So that's why politicians often are narcissists. I'm not saying absolutely every politician is a narcissist, but politicians often are narcissists for this reason. Because the job is dirty in itself. You need to do things at the expense of other people to make other folks happy. So if a group of people whom you need to keep happy, because if you don't keep them happy, they'll escalate and do bad stuff. So in order to keep them happy, to appease their rage, you need to bring disadvantage to another group of people. And you must be able to do it without remorse and without feeling bad about it. And you must be able to justify why you brought harm on others for the sake of appeasing another group of people who don't even care about the group that's being disadvantaged. So the job in itself is dirty. And don't expect the common people whom you worked for to support you with psychological help when you're troubled. Because they will say, well, you're the politician, you're the leaders, your fault. They don't want to take any responsibility, even if they were the ones putting pressure upon you to do it. So only narcissists who know how to manipulate the rage of common people will hang out long in the political arena. Rarely will you find a true, honest man long in politics. Rarely will you find it. And I'm saying it as it is. I have no agenda with this YouTube channel. I'm not part of any religion, nor of any religious group. So I have no agenda. I have nothing to hide here. The world's leaders, for the most part, are narcissists. Because that's the only type of people common people tolerate to govern them. If Christ himself would return tomorrow, they would fight against him with all their being to kill him, even though they can't kill him because he's the living one, he's God himself. But the first time Christ came, eventually they killed him. The next time he'll appear, those who are still alive then will turn on him completely when they see him in all his glory and majesty. Why? Because they don't want that in their darkness. They don't want their darkness to be trampled upon. That's how common people are. So that's why they have the leaders they have. Just think about it. If you are a guy, you go out there and you stand on the street and begin to sing some hymn and people can't stand your voice, sooner or later you'll have to stop singing because someone will hit you, someone will do you harm. Because they can't stand your voice. It's not in line with their expectations. So how can it be that you have those lying scumbags, those lying narcissists, who use the abilities entrusted onto them to scam people? How can those serial scammers are walking around in ease, and someone who's only singing the wrong tone already received thumbs down and may even become the target of violence? So you mean to tell me that just because someone's voice is not in tune with your expectation, you go off at it, but someone that's lying to you, making fake promises, never keeps them, and gaslights you, you let them go? You let them off the hook? Why are you letting him off the hook? You let him off the hook because you are a hostage yourself. Because you know if you speak out about that lying politician, the mirror will reflect back onto you. And then you're exposed. You don't want that. That's why I'm telling you, this whole thing of fight against corrupt politicians is a scam. Why is it a scam? Because real change will only happen when people renew their minds, when people forfeit negativity. It's then that real change will manifest in the community. But folks don't want to change. They don't want to face themselves. So that's why they are trapped in this circus of electing leaders every 4 years. That's why they're trapped in this political left versus right wing circus their whole lives long. Because it's easier to be sucked into that circus of political engagement than it is to really face things as they are and take unpleasant actions. I'm telling you as it is, stop putting your hope on political parties and stop investing your life source in political movements expecting good change to come. There will be no good change coming from political movements. Real change is only when you align yourself with Christ and operate in the power. It's only then you will be able to overcome violence around you. Because this world will continue to operate in violence. Without violence, this world cannot exist. Take away the violence from the world and you have nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's the violence that covers up that the world has no real quality, only quantity. That's why they lie about the population numbers. It is known that China fakes their statistics to make their population seem higher than it is. There are even news media that used to report on this, but often the articles are taken down quickly. That's censorship. I'm telling you folks, don't rely on political movements. You're likely to support a narcissist. And even if a narcissist for some miracle wants to do the best thing, that narcissist is hindered by the narcissistic attitude of common people. Those political leaders know very well what they're dealing with. They know very well that the only reason they can benefit is by them doing what's expected of them, being evil. Because the common people want them to be evil so that common people don't have to face themselves. So the common people are willing hostages of those political leaders. But at the same time, they're playing the victim collectively. If people really wanted change, they would have gone on the streets, they would have arrested collectively those politicians, and they would have hung them. They would have established a people's tribunal, and they would have charged those evil leaders. They're not doing it. Instead, you see them go after children, they go after teenagers, they go after anyone else, including even go after migrants, but they don't go after the root of the issue. That's their own unexamined expectations. Don't fall for this scam. Be at peace.